Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and we are proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. If you're a growing business and want support to continue that growth, you guys know how to finish it now, don't you? They are the people to speak to. That's not even a tagline that they gave me. It's just something that I got used to saying because I've had such positive experiences with Action Coach, and I'm happy to continue pushing that message out about how they can help other businesses, like small businesses like the Ramble. Yeah, they are the people to speak to about that. VMB Auto Centres are also still offering their amazing deal of 50% off MOTs, 15 quid for your MOT. If you're anywhere near Handsworth, it's worth making the trip. So that's all I will say. This is 90 after 90. Normally I do a bit of a debrief after a watch along because I were on for so long. I think it ended up being about 2.5, 3 hours last night. And then it's too late to take callers on for a further hour or something like that. Nobody wants to, even though we're all buzzing last night, it's a rare occasion that people would be willing to call in after like 10 o'clock. And I would cooked. But I feel like because it's such a big week as well, we know what we've got coming up on Sunday. I wanted to open up the floor. It feels like a while since we've had callers on. It also, it's something that I know Jamie's been keen to get on. Jamie's in the green room, if you like, waiting to come on and have his say. And we're going to do it a little bit differently today. It's not just going to be me. I'm not going to be alone. It's a 3 Mardy Blades Spesh. So before I bring in my boys from the 3 Mardy Blades, I also want to let you know that tomorrow, warm up for that game. And I've already done it. I've already recorded it. So that will be available on Patreon to our Patreon supporters straight after this stream. So that is the big one that's coming up on Sunday. That is going to be available. But if you're not a Patreon member, that's absolutely fine. But that we're going to be pushing that out to the public, if you like, to everybody else at around 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. So there's that to look forward to as well. And then there's not left to do, is there? There's not more we can sort of fill our time with until that game. So, yeah, anyway. So, without further ado, let me welcome on my other 2 Mardy Blades. It is Paul, the Man Mountain, and Dave, the Nose Leary. How's it going, boys?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
So, 2 regular guests. Obviously, we do our own bi-weekly show on Patreon as well, the 3 Mardy Blades. You're obviously also regular contributors to the channel in terms of coming on and giving your opinions, lads. So before we get others on and introduce other people to it and sort of hear what they have to say and start jumping into the comments, what are your thoughts on, first, the brilliant result yesterday after what we thought was going to be at 75 minutes? It looked like a lost cause or it was slipping away from us, certainly. And then if you want to move on to your Wednesday thoughts straight afterwards, then you can do, but it's up to you whether you want to space that out. We'll go with Paul first. What are you thinking, pal?
What about last night? The
Whichever you want.
Okay. Yeah. Well, firstly, I feel like us Blades, the football karma police, wherever they are, however they decide what happens to you. After what the season we had before, one thing I said last night to some of you lads was, I just feel like as Blades fans, we really deserve what happened last night. We really deserve to have those moments where, you know, I think I saw a thing with Jimmy's reaction on X with for all the people who come on and do these streams and these fan channels and all the kudos and all the abuse that goes with it, and they said this is the reason why you do it. This is the reason why people love football, and I begrudge anybody who's not a football fan to see what happened to Sheffield United fans last night and not feel like, oh yeah, that must have been amazing, and try and get their heads around why that was such a special performance in the end. And I wanted to highlight the contrast between the mood, like Jimmy just said, at 75 minutes, looking on the chat forums, listening to what people are saying. Oh my God.
No.
The world's about to implode.
Wilder out.
What has he done? Oh my God, what an idiot. You know, we've seen the beautiful Michael Cooper make a couple of errors now. So he is human. He's not just gorgeous and amazing goalkeeper. He is also fallible. You know, he made a mistake that last game. It's true, isn't it? It's true. He made a mistake the game before. He gave the ball away. It nearly cost us a goal. I thought he's got to pull his hands away for the penalty. He's got to be smarter than the way he handed it to him. He didn't make the striker work hard enough to get his goal last night, I don't think. It was a great slide rule ball. Yeah, he had the legs on him. I don't think there was much more we could have done different.
Went into heavy, didn't he? He went into heavy. It was a definite penalty, no messing.
Come out, sack of spuds, and sometimes just by forcing the striker to actually take it round you and force the finish, you make it a lot more difficult. So I was a bit annoyed with it because he has done so well, but like we said last game, he gave one away with a loose pass that nearly cost us, and now he's done that. But does that mean he's still not our best signing of the window? I don't know. Something maybe to talk about. Something about which signings we think of, or which players have been playing really, really well. Because I know a lot of people disagreed with Wilder's team last night. Some people, in retrospect, might think, was it a stroke of genius? Did bringing those three on give us the legs, give us the belief towards the end of the game that we could go and get a result? Because as football fans, we always think, we should be going full throttle, get all the best players, all the form players, get everybody on the pitch as best you can. But actually, in rugby, they call it finishers, don't they? And I actually loved when we made that triple sub because everybody was like, here we go, all over our chat. Here we go now. The big lads are coming on for the end. We're gonna go and nick it. And guess what?
That's why I was sure to tag it and sort of say, look, at this point, we are all happy with this substitution. And then at 75 minutes, it were a case of this team Wilder's picked, he's changed a winning team, blah, blah. No. We were all happy when he made that substitution. And now it's, other than the Kiefer Moore injury, it's the strongest team we could have out there. So come on, we can't pick and choose what we're going to say when argument fits. So
yeah, I agree. What do you reckon, Dave? Do you think it was a stroke of genius, or was it just a bit of luck? We got lucky at the end because I thought we earned our luck by the end.
I think the equaliser was taking a bit of luck, definitely. But after that, no, we went and made it. We're all over them. I think just to circle back your point of, I said it last night, how people cannot like sport. I don't get it. You know, they'll watch drama on TV or, you know, soaps or whatever. My mum was a great example of it. Hated sport, but she'd watch all sorts on TV. But I don't think you can find anything that provides the drama that supporting a team does. Because obviously you would enjoy that as a neutral, what happened last night. But as a fan being involved in it, you've got the flip sides of the coin, the absolute agony that Bristol City will have felt.
Which we've felt before. We've felt that before, haven't we? It's an absolute kicker.
But
when you're
that's why you
right,
appreciate it.
That's right.
Yeah. And your reaction on the watch along was every single person watching that game as a United fan. It was just, I was up, phone was flying, remote controls flying,
it's brilliant,
running in, going, you know, yeah. I'm surprised it didn't wake the neighbours up, but
no, it's absolutely
brilliant.
That's those little moments of brilliance, and it was just fantastic. So I'm going to jump into some comments. I know we're going to sort of maybe move on to Wednesday, but there's a few things to chat about. Jump into some comments that says, wow, what a comeback. Harrison Burrow's been the signing of the season. So, yeah, the beauty of what you were saying, Paul, with Cooper being your standout signing of the season, you can have and you can accept there will be arguments for a few players. And that, what a position to be in that scenario. You could argue Harry Suter, even though he's a loan signing, is also one of the signings of the season. So Kiefer Moore, I'm not going to argue that case at the moment, but come the end of the season, there might be an argument for that. So there's all sorts of things. I still think Michael Cooper just nudges it for me. Harrison Burrows is giving him a hell of a run.
He's
Go on,
young,
Dave.
isn't he, Cooper? He's always going to make mistakes. Even the prime age for a goalkeeper is a lot older than it is for outfield players. So he's going to make these mistakes. Just going to make him a better keeper.
Yeah,
Not
that's right.
Two mistakes out of all the good stuff he's done.
Danny says he'd stick One in if Keith isn't fit against the Pigs. Campbell as sub. Interesting. Pigs won't know anything about One. It'll remind me of Brooks' impact at Hillsborough. And he could do the same, especially in front of the Blades fans. He can score as he's done plenty in the under-21s. Time to let loose up the Ramble. Is it too early to release Ryan One as a start? I think you play it safe and you go Ty Campbell personally if Moore's not fit. But I can understand the shouts.
That is a debate and a half right there.
Wait, I get it because the youthful naivety of it all. Do you know what I mean? What pressure?
What, of Danny? Of Danny or of
Danny's point. I mean, shoving One on, he's fresh-faced. He doesn't really get the pressure of what it. He won't understand what it means to the Blades fans and the Pigs fans, obviously. But what he will get is, I don't know, I'm here to play. Even if I don't have a great game, I'm 18. Who gives a monkeys? Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, I think it'd be a hell of a move by Wilder if that happened. I can't see it. I think Campbell will start just because he's been around the block a few times. He's in decent form as it goes, which is great. Obviously, with Brewster injured, it sort of takes him out of the question. So I won't be. I reckon Ryan One should get on in that game at some point. In either scenario, any scenario, we're chasing the game where we're leading 2 or 3, we're drawing the game. I think he's worth bringing on. He showed he had a presence. I thought he put himself about. He didn't show any nerves. Took his header really well. Really hard to generate any direction and power on that header.
I agree. I think after he scored, it looked like he gave him such belief. He was all over the place then. He wanted the ball. He was in for tackles. He were pressing. He were all over the place. And I thought, this has done you a world of good, this already. You can tell.
I think you can already see, and I think some people even said it, the difference between what I would call a natural finisher. For me, that was instinctive.
It was.
That's a goal. That's right. That I don't think Jefferson or Asula scores. I really don't think they score that goal. Honestly, I don't.
I spoke to someone last night.
I think they were good athletes.
Last night who said to me, it's taken him 10 minutes to score more than Will Asula for Sheffield United. I won't tell you who it was because it's probably not the best thing to do. But
good evening, Prince. Good evening, Prince. How are you?
But it's true. It's true. Will Asula, for all the fanfare that comes with him and the fantastic amount of money that we got for him, Ryan One is off the mark after 10 minutes of first team football. Brilliant. You can't get a better start for a young kid, particularly to get us back into the game. And like Dave says, that were the jolt we needed to push us to get that winner. Because I think the game was just sort of ebbing away from us. Of course it was. We were at 90 minutes at that point. Jack says, I thought we were off it last night and didn't feel like we could come back, but I'm happy we were proved wrong. Burrows is ace and has really found his feet. Shame about Moore. Definitely need 2 strikers. Sousa's a beast. And he'll destroy the midfield on Sunday. In my opinion, as soon as we went back to 1 striker, we were sloppy in possession. Peck seemed to look lost. I think it did look a bit bigger of a game for Peck last night, if I'm honest. I think I'm not concerned about it. I think that's a consistency, an inconsistency with youth players that you will get good games, bad games. I think Arblaster has gone through a sticky spell for a couple of games, but he's returning to form now. That pass for the winner was absolutely incredible, by the way. And in terms of 1 striker, I think that's the way we've got to go on Sunday. Otherwise, you must be suggesting Campbell and One up front, which is okay and it's brave. But who do you drop? Yeah. Who do you drop then? It's not going to be Raksaki. It's likely not going to be Hamer. I assume it's O'Hare that you drop, and dropping O'Hare for One is a big shout at this stage. I don't think it'll happen, if I'm honest. One of the finest comebacks since Lazarus, says Mel. What a great win and a great comeback. We played brilliant, says Kel. Let us all raise a glass for the army of Blades volunteers who will stay after the derby to disinfect the lane end.
Nice. Mel. Nice. Love that from Mel. Love that.
Yes, love that from you, Mel. Moore's going to be a big miss on Sunday, both in attack and defensively from set pieces. I just hope his injury is not too serious and he'll be available again after the international break. Yeah, let's hope so. I think if Moore's injured, we definitely need 2 strikers and play to their advantages. think we need 2 up front either way, says Sarah. So if the only 2 available is One and Campbell, that's a huge shout. Huge. Jack says, I think we just create a lot more with 2 up top, and it does better. I agree, but I don't think we've got the personnel available that we'd want to have that option, really.
Out of interest, just to Jack there, does that include people like, would you play O'Hare off, or would you play Hamer off? Does that do we encompass those 2 players?
Do you count that as a 2? Yeah, I know what you mean.
You count that as
so like
a 10 and a 9?
Yeah, because I wouldn't class that as a 2. I'd class that as a 10, if you like, a loose player behind the striker. I think a major positive, even when we were, even when we weren't on it, we still took a penalty to break our defence. Yeah, defence has been superb. Sorry, I'm just having to whiz through these, but we've got people waiting. I want to make sure I get as many comments in as possible, and I'm going to hand the mic over to the boys in a minute. Anyway, so the ref for the game is the same one against Leeds. Oh, don't mate. Yeah, Sarah agrees with Jack about having 2 up front. Really want Gus and Raksaki to start. Does that mean you're dropping O'Hare then, Sarah, if you're going 2 up top? Can't believe Cooper, what he did, but people make mistakes. At least we got to win. Kelly, I think we can look past that for everything that Michael Cooper's given us so far. Like the lads have said, and you've said, to be fair, everybody will make mistakes. It shows that he's human, like Paul says. He's not just a beautiful robot that we all thought he might be. I think it was a goal either way, Kelly. He did what he had to do. It wasn't far off saving it too. No, he weren't far off, which makes you think, should he have got it? But I think that's probably being a little bit too harsh.
No.
I think, all right. I still think you will, Jack, but I'd start Raksaki over O'Hare. That's another sticky away fixture crossed off the list, getting 6 points in the last 2 games against 2 undefeated home teams. He's playing away that is a remarkable result. Going to do the Pigs 3-0 on Sunday, Jimmy lad. I think so too. That's my score prediction. Spoiler for the video tomorrow. So he's more out then. I think it's looking likely that he's out, Jace. I think we all work on the assumption that he's out, and it's a bonus if he's back. Wilder said it didn't look good last night. Yeah, Wilder won't let on if he's out or not. Yeah, I agree with that, Sarah. That's definitely the case. Good to hear you on the radio earlier, pal. Thank you, mate. Yeah, that was it was nice. I've been on twice today, actually, which is ridiculous. They had me up at chuffing 7 o'clock. I'm not sure it's for me, radio life, I'll be honest. Even though I do have the face for radio, and I've just given Bri that little jab as well. Jimmy, more likely out.
Hey, Jim, that was great, Bance. Hey.
Great Bance says.
Great Bance, mate, great.
Is that the Alan Partridge? Great Bance.
No.
Jimmy, more likely out against Wednesday. Sadly, shame on the haters. More has been class. What's your thoughts on One? Too soon to start? Worth the risk with his potential ability? Seems One for the future. Nice. I see what you've done there, Great Bance. I just very quickly, and I'll bring our first guest in. Yeah, I like him. I think he's full of potential. He's exciting to see, like Paul's mentioned. He looks like an instinctive striker. He's built so well, and he is 18. I thought he was 19, 20 now, but he's only 18. Big young lad. Will grow. I mean, you're always slightly concerned when they're still in the growing phases, when they're doing sprints and stuff like this, as to whether anything's going to ping or out like that at this delicate stage. But looks up for it. Got a ton of potential. If he hadn't have been forced on last night, because let's be honest, I don't think he'd have got a game. I don't think he'd have got a kick if Kiefer Moore hadn't gone off injured. I don't think he'd have seen any game time last night. I could have seen him going out on loan in January, and this is them sort of sliding doors moments potentially, isn't it, in terms of players' careers and the trajectory at which they go. So if Moore is out and if Brewster is out, and even if we go with Ty Campbell up front, then you'd like to think One might get 20 minutes anyway on Sunday, because we've no other choice and we're sort of forced into doing it. But it's a great opportunity for a young lad. He took every ounce of that chance that he was given yesterday. So why not? Let's go to our first guest then. And our first caller tonight is the man who's been wanting to call in for ages. I hope he's chopped some of the things off his list. I came in to start the stream and there were 3 lads waiting. But I'd already dipped in earlier to do a little thing on the background. And I noticed somebody's been waiting since about 6:05 on this stream. So I know who was first. And it was Jamie. How's it going, pal?
You've done me dirty there, but I'm all right.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. You're
It's
just keen, aren't you?
Jamie,
I love it.
like a kid at Christmas, which is only a month away, isn't it? So there you go. Right,
Jay,
Jay.
how's it going? I'm gonna pass you actually over to Dave the Nose Leary, who's going to ask you a couple of bits about
Go on, Dave.
United.
So we were talking about signing of the season then. So let's kick that off with the Cooper Burrows debate. Which side of the fence do you sit on?
It's got to be Cooper. I think we needed a keeper. It was either Adam Davis or Ivo Gerbic before Cooper came in. The upgrade levels that
Great point.
Going to Cooper it's something else. Burrows has been incredible, but we already had Norrington Davis and Sam McCallum, who were still great championship players. So for me, it has to be Cooper just because of how much of an impact he's had and how much of a role that needed filling.
It's a great shout.
I'm glad you're on, Jay, because I know you went to the game, didn't you, yesterday?
No, I was stuck because of them.
Oh
no, it was bragging in the comments. It was saying, well, at least the silver lining is when they scored the penalty. At least silver lining is these wonderful dogs of mine have kept me in Retford, so I didn't have to go to the game. And now, anyway, they were almost cursing on stream. I nearly had to block him on stream because of what happened.
Honestly, I've been to about 90% of away games this season, barring like.
You're a big away man, aren't you now?
Yeah, honestly, these little and honestly fuming.
Well, no, big shout to the. Well, I was going to give Jamie some big kudos there, but big shout to the away fans that made the trip down there on the Tuesday night, and that's all I could think about. Really, was like, how much better is this journey home now? How much easier is the 3.5 hours or something down to Bristol? It's a long time, isn't it? So fair play to all the Blades there. I was going to ask you, Jay, what do you reckon? When was the last time we had a feeling like that as a supporter of Sheffield United? When was the last time that we went, my God, like unbridled Jimmy style shouting?
Probably, I'd say Wolves.
Jimmy style.
Luton. I think you've got to go down to probably Wolves when we played them at home last season, just because they were about 100 minutes in. And that were an Ollie Norwood penalty of all people, with him missing about his last 4. So, and that was one of his only wins after about probably a 20-game deficit. So, I think that's the only time I think recently. Before that, I was probably when we played Blackburn in FA Cup, and
that's what I had.
Doyle scored it were about 25 yards, 30 yards out.
Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
I gave Norwood no chance of scoring that penalty, and he absolutely hammered it in, didn't he? That was just an absolute net breaker. It was brilliant.
His name was Muck. His name was Muck in the forums at that time, weren't it, Ollie Norwood?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'll try and avoid forums where I can.
But Dave used to say, like, oh, people forget about Ollie Norwood and how good he actually was for us and how he shaped a lot of our success. And some days he was just like, this guy's way too good. But towards the end there, he was struggling a little bit, wasn't he? And the fans had sort of had a little turn on him, and I thought it was a real a real glory moment for a guy that deserved one at that point. Do you know what I mean? Because he was struggling at the time, and it was a big 3 points for us as well. So tell us then, Jay, does that make any difference for Sunday? Does it make any difference about what's going to happen?
You've got to think, surely, like there's going to be the slightest bit of difference. Like you can't, like Wednesday, you can say, oh, yeah, their heads be down because they lost 6-2. But then they beat Norwich 2-0. Like, that's a great result for them going into it. And we've just got a late winner. So you can say that both teams are on the up. But form is nothing in these games. It's just purely about how you're feeling going into it. And both teams will be great. The only difference being is that you've got a manager for us who's been there, done it with the derbies. Probably playing, supporting, definitely managing. So he knows about it very well, along with some of the players who supported like Blaster and all that. And then Danny Roll, who won't understand it, but he'll have players like Bannon showing him what it's about. And then
Max Lowe.
He'll probably mean more to him than anyone, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It could do, as daft as that sounds. It could, yeah.
Yeah, and Danny Roll is German.
When he gives a pen away and gets sent off.
I was quite pleased with the result personally, because I think there was a I think it was me and you, Dave, spoke about it. The narrative that United can't win because we are supposed to win because we're the team with all the money and we're the team that's come down from the Prem and you're at home, so it doesn't make any difference. And you sort of described it as almost we can't win as United fans. I always think that the Wednesdayites will start believing after that result, you see. So I'd have thought 2-0. 2-0, it's a good result for him. We'll, give him the flowers for recovering after a big defeat, which isn't easy for everybody. Will that give them a bit of belief, do you think, going into this game?
I'm getting stick today. Oh, you should be beating us. We're only a little team. Honestly, I don't think it's changed.
Self-preservation from them, I think, mate. That's self-preservation. James, you wanted to discuss, pal, coming on? I know you had a list prepared, didn't you, at the beginning of the week? So I don't know whether we've chopped into any of those.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, we don't usually go for an hour and a half.
I sort of, it's probably just 3 basic things I just want to briefly cover. First off, kickoff times. I'm genuinely starting to get fuming with them, especially with me going away. We just played Bristol City midweek. Who in the right minds decides that? It's like saying to Plymouth or Sunderland fans, play other in like Wednesday, 8 p.m. Who in the right mind decides that? Honestly, Sky, do one. Another one I want to cover was
Is that it, Jay? You just make your point.
Yeah.
He's right, though. He's 100% right.
I think I said it this morning on radio. It was right. They were asking me about Remembrance Day, and I went into a similar rant saying Sky TV controls football now, and it just dictates when Remembrance Day is not as important to them as a big corporation in terms of how many eyes they can get on the TV screen at this particular time, and it's you're weighing money up against morals again, aren't you? But thankfully, we will obviously respect Remembrance Sunday as we should, but it does sort of push the boundaries of what's morally acceptable, I think, in terms of having teams kick off at awkward times during the day and stuff. So yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you on that, pal. Yeah, you'll crack on with your list. Keep going, pal.
Other is referees, just in general. Why are they so poor in this country? I
saw your comment. Your comment on the stream.
Look, you've got to understand, some of them are really poor, especially at
What did you say? What did you say?
I said about your mate being like, no, exactly.
Even your mate.
He blocked one of all players from like trying to tackle Sunderland player.
Where's that mute button?
I'm sorry.
Where's that mute button? I'm only kidding. No, refs. This is a circle we're never going to square, innit? It's. I mean, I don't mean to sort of jump in. Dave, what are your thoughts on refs, pal?
I think it's very, very difficult, and I personally can only liken it to grassroots football and seeing what people have to put up with doing, right? And I know they get paid for it, but it's very difficult to imagine why someone would decide, you know what, I'm going to be a referee when every decision that you make is going to be criticised, whether you get it right or wrong by one team or the other, the abuse that you get for it, the sheer scrutiny of it all. I feel for them, and without them, we can't go and play the game. So I'm reluctant, as much as I'll look and go, why is he given that? I'm reluctant to go in too hard, because I do think it's such a difficult job, and they haven't got the benefit of replays. And
it's a thankless job, isn't it? It's a thankless job. Yeah. Really tough, really tough. I mean, they stick their hand up for it, though, don't they? It's their job that they want to do. It's, they put themselves under that spotlight, and at the top level, they're well compensated for it. So Jay or anybody else has every right to criticise their performance if they get things wrong or whatever, because they are signing up to knowing full well that they're going to get that scrutiny. Doesn't make the job any easier, though, I have to say. And we're fortunate enough to have in our chat a lad who's a qualified referee who can often give us the flip side of the argument, which is quite informative to people, to laymen like me who don't really always. I try and see it from different sides, but he'll explain the law to us, and it sort of makes a little bit more sense. So I share your frustrations, Jamie, completely.
But the thing is, Mike Riley being on the telly. Have you heard him when he's when they do the commentary and he's sort of in the panel, isn't he? And so they refer back to him whenever there's a contentious decision. I haven't heard him knock back the referee once yet in terms of the decision making that they make. So if he make, that's the right call, and he sort of makes an argument for it. And it reminded me of the role of the fourth official. What a job that is, by the way. Yeah, you don't even make any of the decisions, and they're the ones that everyone's shouting and swearing at. It's brilliant. The managers just rock up to him like, "Oh, this will make a difference. If I have a pop, this is he'll go, oh yeah, he's mad about that. Change the decision." It's never happened. So it's just never happened. And yeah, I feel like they're there for the taking.
They're to be shot at. Yeah, they are.
The funniest one though were when you were at Euros when we played Holland and you got that Christine Ugba, I think it were, whatever her name were, and she was going, "Yeah, it's definitely not a foul. It shouldn't be." A second later, they cut her off and it's going, "It's penalty." Like, I love them moments where it's just they've got these analysts and everything, and then they have to go back on their own words and say, "Actually, no, I got it wrong. The ref was right."
Do you find yourself more impartial when you're not watching United, for example? Because obviously, when you got your red glasses on and you look and you're watching the game, and anything that goes even remotely the way you didn't think it would for us, oh God, the referee. Are you the same when you see it when you're watching games that you're not too fussed about the result, or
it's 50-50? I mean, I saw a Peterborough game other day. It was like came up on my feed on Instagram, and it were corner taken, player heads into his own goal, and it should be given, and then ref says, "Oh yeah, it's gone through a hole in net."
Unbelievable that one.
On that side of the net, how has he even come to that conclusion? He's seen it roll in. Or no, they didn't even say that. They said it hit the side net.
Yeah, they'd scored an own goal, hadn't they? Should have been credited. Thank God they won the game because they'd have been uproar, wouldn't they?
Did they win it?
Absolutely disgraceful.
James, did you see that one where the goalie falls into the back of the net and pushes the ball against the back of the post? And everybody just looks around at the ref and he goes, "Oh, it hasn't buzzed." Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do remember that one. I do remember that one.
Burned into my eyes.
Goal line technology.
Why have you brought that up?
Because goal line technology. Oh, Dave,
you're in charge of the next one.
Look at his cat.
It's unbelievable.
Goal line technology was the only thing that for me was just 100%. That's right. Because they can't get that wrong. It's impossible. I love it when players run up to the ref and they go. It's
a black or white decision, isn't it? It's a yes or a no.
Black or white.
Has it gone over or has it not?
It weren't that day, was it? So I was wrong about that.
Jay, what was your final point, pal?
Final one, just quickly regarding Burrows. I've noticed that before he came to us, he was sort of like a left wing back and he was very attacking. But whenever we bring McCallum on, Burrows seems to stay at left back and McCallum will go to like the left mid / left wing position. And I think he's doing that on purpose because he knows that Burrows is quality going forward. So I think he's doing it on purpose to potentially try and just improve him defensively so that his overall game is better. So when you see people saying, "Oh yeah, Burrows will probably go in like right wing or something," I don't think you'll ever put him that high up unless it's like dying for a goal like it were against Bristol last night. Like I think he's trying to just keep him there so that he can become a proper quality left back, like Ender Stevens will.
I were keen on seeing how we were going to play them because Sam McCallum came in obviously before Burrows, and you've got to think he's known to be a decent left back at this level and won't have come just to sit on the bench all season. So when he's bringing on McCallum and Burrows is staying on, I've watched to see where they go a couple of times, and there were that one occasion which we may all remember or we may not, where McCallum went to left back and Burrows went to right wing, which was crazy to think. I know what he's going for. It weren't like he'd lost the plot, but it just seemed so odd for a left back to go over to right wing. There has been a time where he's tried McCallum behind Burrows as well. It didn't seem to click very well, I didn't think. But I'm with you, Jamie. I think the best combination is to have Burrows at left back, no matter who we're bringing on. That might even be Reece Norrington-Davies, but I think Burrows' best position, particularly if he's going to grow with us in the role, is going to be at that left back position. And also adding to that, McCallum scared me a little bit in terms of his performance against Borough. I thought he looked very susceptible to a tricky winger, and it worried me a little bit. And I think Burrows would have handled him better. I was looking forward to Reece coming on and dealing with that Ben Doak, and he didn't really, to be fair. But it's just a good player that needs managing. But yeah, he is. But he did look better. But I thought McCallum looked a little bit lost at times. For first time this season, because he's done well whenever he's come on, I thought.
So did you just say that you thought that if R&D were to come on, you wouldn't put R&D at left back and you wouldn't put Burrows forward at left midfield? Because I think
that's probably the only change. But I think it's unlikely he's going to bring R&D on and keep Burrows on. I think that's unlikely unless they go to that R&D at left back and Burrows at left wing, because I think he sees R&D as slotting in maybe in a Jackie Robinson type role, as we're light in centre half, aren't we? So we'll see, mate. We'll see. We've got the options, haven't we? Like we've talked about previously, we've got the options in the playing squad to be more flexible with that. Anything else you want to cover, Jay, while we've got you, pal?
No, I'll let you get on with it, because I've realised I've been on for a while and you got people waiting. So thank you for your time.
Mate, you have, but it's all right. Listen, you're always welcome. I love your input, and thanks for continuing to come on and share your points with us. It's appreciated. Are you there on Sunday?
Of course.
Right.
Of course I will be. I'm getting trained straight down from Retford, banging.
Not looking
to
after dogs. Not looking after dogs instead.
For a couple hours. It's not like I'm leaving it at like 3 p.m. and getting back at about 4 in the morning.
It's not me. You've got to explain it to, pal. It's not me. You've got to explain it to.
It's been approved. It's been approved by my father.
All right. Okay. As long as it's signed off, that's good.
Yeah.
If it's good with your father, Jay, stick to that, mate. Stick to that. Don't worry about what Jim says.
Cheers, Jay. See you soon, pal.
Cheers.
Yeah, mate. Right. I'm going to jump straight into our next caller. I know I've got some comments that we're massively behind, but I also know what it's like waiting to come on when it's your first time. So welcome, everybody. Ricky, how's it going, pal?
Yeah, Bill.
I'm very well, mate. I'm very well. How are you after last night?
Emotional roller coaster, mate.
Not half. It took you through it ringer, didn't it? So
yeah.
We've touched on it very briefly, and we won't dwell on it because, people want to talk about different things. But when you saw it line up initially, were you pleased? Did you think it were all right? Did you think he's been a bit conservative here? One eye on Sunday. What were your thoughts?
Two at top, I'd have dropped away. Maybe Campbell and Moore up top, because I think Moore's all right on his own, but I think he needs to want to play off him, same as Campbell. I think singly, I don't think they're great.
Yeah, no. my Zoom's just decided to play up on me again, but I won't mess about while you're here, Rick. It's I agree with you, mate. It was disappointing to see Moore go off. Obviously, Ryan O'Neill coming on for a hell of a debut, though. It were nice to see. So, thinking about last night and going into Sunday, then I know your preference is two, as is mine, to be honest, at the minute when Kiefer's available, but. What are you going with up top? I think the defence picks itself. I think Blaster and Vinny pick themselves. What are you going with as your front line?
So I'm going to say something a bit dodgy now. I won't play Raksake.
Explain.
I play on right. I play Burrows on left, and I play Campbell in centre. With O'Hare just behind him. I play Reece and Davis on left. If you look, Burrows really started excelling last 2 games because he scored 2, but it's when he's going forward.
So who did you say on the right again, mate? I didn't hear.
Armour. Natural right footer, whipping crosses in.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't mind that.
Shuffling the pack.
Yeah. I thought Raksake was poor last night.
Thing is with Raksake, left-footed, that's all he does, cuts in, left shot.
It's very predictable, isn't it? Very predictable.
Crosses.
Interesting
I think he's a match winner. And I think
he is.
He's a man who, like you said, I don't think many fullbacks would be, even though he is, like you say, a little bit predictable. Coming off the bench, I think he's a right weapon. I think because when defenders are getting wary, like last night, do you give Wilder any credit for what happened last night, or was it just lucky that it fell that way, or do you think the subs made the big difference?
Well, you know what I've noticed? players are filling in for each other's roles now. If you looked when Burrows were running forward, Vinny Souza were dropping back, so they're dropping to a 3 back. So that we're freeing Burrows going forward. But end of the day, it's like, how many times last season did see someone scoring and we buried their heads? Especially for Vinny and El, it's got to be a mental challenge to just go back to that place where they were losing and burying their heads. But the fact that we kept on pushing, and it like woke them up when they scored that goal. But it happened a bit late. But we're only in that position because of us.
That's right. Do you think it's sorry, Dave. Go on, you go.
I was going to say, do you think then, because I think that's a really interesting point about the mentality of those two and the rest of the team as a whole. I know a lot of them are new, but do you think we've fixed that mentality problem of losing? Do you think that's completely out of the system now?
I'd say yeah, but you look at Leeds. If you look at Leeds, we buried our heads and we didn't go for it. We kind of just conceded what were happening.
Next question, was that down to the system though? Was that the system that changed the mindset of the team? Was that just a big occasion that they just didn't show up for?
I think they just got a bit overwhelmed. We got outplayed. There was no buts about it. We just got outplayed.
I agree.
The fact no one pushed that little bit though. That's what irritated me.
Yeah, I think no one stood up that game.
No.
But the system change doesn't help, does it? When you're on a win streak and you're confident and you're playing a certain way, then to completely mix it up. And I don't often point the finger at Wilder, but I think he has to look at himself there in terms of mixing it up. And in terms of mentality, Paul, I think you make a good point. But a lot of this team, other than Vinny and Anel, a lot of this team that are starting are new players. So they haven't got a losing mentality. People that Ricky's on about, like Anel and Souza, who have to sort of snap out of that and get, hopefully they don't have like PTSD about what happened last season and things like that. But the majority of players, Gilchrist, Suter, Burrows, even Blaster, who came in halfway through season, Raksaki, Kiefer Moore, Gusema maybe, obviously, but O'Hare's new to the side. It's new to them all. It's not like they've joined a club that was used to losing. But it's a blank page. It's a blank page. We can rewrite it, and they are doing now. We're in top 2 as we speak. Obviously, it may not be after tonight, but I think it's
true though.
I think it's been remarkable.
Anel and Vinny have been integral to how well we've been playing.
Yes, they have. Yeah, they have.
So
mentality monsters.
The turnaround of them both, especially Vinny, but the turnaround of them both after going through a season like that. That's some going.
I've got a question, Rick, before I let you go then, pal. I think everybody, particularly those that were wrong like myself about Vinny, we'll use Vinny as an example, and we all recognise, I think, that he's integral to how well we've been playing this season. If we get offered 20, 25 million quid in January, which could happen for Vinny Souza, what are you saying? What are you doing with that?
I'm not taking it, mate.
You're not taking... Yeah, but it's easy to say that. You've got to weigh up with...
Last season, I always said there were a method behind his flapping hands, you know what I mean? And now it's coming to fruition.
Yeah,
we're just luring us into a false sense of security, weren't we?
Yeah, that's it.
I think as fans, though, I think it's an interesting point. But as fans, I feel like we were right to judge Vinny at the time because I think we all thought that he might be somebody that could raise everybody around him because we thought he was a higher level than what we already had. And I think because we were so far off it and we maybe only had, what we thought, and we thought Anel might be a Premier League player. We thought Vinny Souza might be a Premier League player. We certainly thought Harmer was, but they weren't enough to make us competitive because you need 10 or 11. You can't carry 5 or 6 who aren't up to the level. And we proved that last year. And obviously it starts with the keeper. So we went in on them last year because we thought, oh, well, they don't care about the club. They're not putting their bodies on the line. They're not working hard enough. But to be in a really losing side like that we're in, that's really tough. That's really that's your job. That's your
battered every week,
isn't it? And this year, different story. Bit of success. They recognise, start playing well. Look at the confidence that Vinny Souza's got now with the ball at his feet. He'll happily hold it, look like he's going one way, dance the other.
Sex machine.
takes his time on the ball, takes the odd Rick, but he still puts the odd one. He's so confident in what he's doing because he knows that he's good enough for the level.
But I can only talk about my perspective of it. I don't think I was wrong last season. Like you said, Paul, we were right to criticise him last season. What I was wrong about was not thinking he could be a player for us. I'd written him off after last season's terrible form. And I think a lot of people had, to be fair. He's then taken the bull by the horns and been one of our most important players this season and led by example, really. So, worn the captain's armband. Who'd have thought that 10 games in that he'd be wearing our captain's armband?
I mean, Rick, is that all on him, or does Wilder take some credit? Last question. Does Wilder take some credit for his man management of that man to take him from where he was to where he is, and also, like you say, like Jim just said, giving him that captaincy?
But do you think us as well? Last season we were just unprepared anyway. We took a player who's never played in England, thrown straight in at deep end. Do you know what I mean? Didn't have time to acclimate. Didn't have a proper pre-season. He was just dumped in there and expected to perform. So I think he's always been good, but us as a fan base put a bit too much on him.
It's a fair shot.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. Ricky, thank you, pal. Anything else you want to cover while we've got you on, pal?
No, that's it. Oh, yeah, one thing. Suter's my signing next season. Might have made a couple of mistakes last game, but other than that, what's he done wrong? No.
Absolute brick wall, innit? Absolute brick wall.
Not just a brick wall. 50-yard
ping.
That's it.
Yeah, with his flipping ping. Oh, some of them last night were unbelievable. And that's circles back round to you can make a very strong argument for a couple of players here. Like I back Cooper. I know Paul just backs Cooper. Burrows is definitely in with a shout. Suter's in with a shout, and they're just for signing at season. If you talk about player at season, Vinny's in there, Anel's in there. It's unreal, really, to think. And that's probably being harsh on somebody like Alfie Gilchrist, who I think has just got better and better as he's continued. So it's great to see. Ricky, you've been unreal, pal, in your first appearance. Make sure it's not your last, buddy.
Someday, be mate.
All right, mate.
Cheers, pal. See you in a bit.
Cheers, buddy. See you soon. Yeah. Nice one, Rick. Oh, I love it when we get new callers on because it's exactly what we want. We want people to feel comfortable coming on, and he spoke really well then as well. So let's jump into some more comments then. Bri, you're next, pal. More likely a great bounce. We've read that one. Evening, Jimmy. Enjoyed last night, especially your reaction. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. What a game bring on Sunday, says Daz. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe, Blades. 3MB. My voice is still gone, unfortunately. No problem, Beast Boy. We will get you on one of these days. We will for your Brewster musings. Sai says, evening, Jimmy, Dave and Paul and the Ramblers. What a comeback that we watched last night with an epic Ramblers watch along. We need to play our next games with the same intensity we did after the 75th minute. Obviously, I've been trying to do watch-alongs for some time and get it going. And I've like with the Ramble, it's an open book, and I've struggled with connectivity and stuff like that. I must say, I really enjoyed it last night. And obviously, the result plays a huge part in that. But yeah, we're brilliant, really. And thank you to everybody that joined us. Can't wait for Sunday. Come on, Blade, says Kel. What an inspiring win. Us, the fans, really deserve that one. Can't wait until Sunday so we can beat the Pigs up the Blades. Is Sheffield United away live at the same time, says Mr. Ultram. They are. I've spoken to Nick. There's no beef. This was the only time both trios were available. So as soon as you're done watching this, and don't go before, but as soon as you're done watching this, get yourself over to them and support them as well, because we are pals as much as some people like to spin it a different way. But yeah, go and support them as well, because I'm sure they're putting on a good show as well. Well, if you think we are. Evening, fellas, up. Everyone's well, says Nige. Still can't get over a huge win last night. Was watching one of the city's podcasts earlier regarding the result, and every opposition fan's stating we've spent loads of money. We certainly haven't spent loads of money net, have we? I mean, we spent a bit of money on Kiefer Moore. We spent money on Burrows. I think that's about it, isn't it? Is that anybody else, lads, that you can think?
Cooper.
If that's what they need, that's what they need to justify our success, they can have it.
Yeah. So we've got an outlay of about £6.5 million.
We'd be saying the same if we were them.
We sold Asula for 10. We sold Trusty for 5. We sold Traore for 4.5. Madness, isn't it? Madness.
The money we got.
Let him talk, Nige. Sarah saw it too. Big Kiefer probably out of the derby is going to be a big miss. Yeah, it is, Ray. but it opens the door for others to step up, namely O'Neill. I think that'll be a typo. And maybe Brewster. I'm not sure Brewster will be fit again. He did look like he got some right bangs. The Blackburn game. Surely, law of averages. If he's going to score, why not in this game? Yeah, absolutely. One flaming predictive text. There we go. Neil says, I think the overall team performance wasn't that brilliant. Yes, I got the changes with one eye on Sunday, but then we made the changes and then it was a Blades performance. But how bad is the key for loss? Yeah, I think it could hit us. It could, but it's also an opportunity, isn't it? We take that on the chin. I think all over the pitch, even if striker is somewhere that we may feel like we're going to be lacking a touch on Sunday, all over the pitch, I would back our men one-on-one against theirs. Paul said it a couple of times. I've echoed it. I think man for man, not one of them players gets in our side. Create our own look, says Jack. I'll take 2 mistakes out of 30. Great saves all day long. Absolutely, Nige. His quality with his feet for a goalkeeper. You can see the defence is very confident with him. So 2 out of 30 plus saves, I'll take that. He's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I don't think anybody's saying any other, to be fair, Nige. And Paul certainly isn't, because he's got a man crush on him, which is, we don't judge here. We don't judge. Each to their own. Are you okay, Hun, up the forest? Deary me. I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine. We're second in our league. I know you're third, but we'll see you next season, pal, when you finish 13th again. What a comeback that was. A joy to be part of the limbs, says Luke. Oh, brilliant. Great that you travelled, Luke. I'm glad you had a good time, pal. Sometimes in football, the gods and the luck go your way, and last night was one of those long overdue games for the Blades. After last year, when nothing went right, to this year where everything's going thumbs up. Oh, Mr. V, don't say that. Just going into the derby game. But yeah, I love the sentiment. Cooper made 2 mistakes, corrected one, and nearly saved the pen. We won the game, didn't we? And Cooper saved us more points than he's lost us, to be fair. Couldn't believe what a comeback. Wow, says Kel. You remember Brewster at the town hall? He asked to play if he's fit. Yeah, that's true. He gave Wednesday some stick, didn't he, on microphone at town hall? Buys into it. That goes a long way with our fan base. Hope Moore is playing on Sunday, says Kel. Yeah, I think we all do, but I doubt it, if I'm honest. When we scored the winner, I was up in the air. Then, being 1 minute in front of the watch along when Jimmy let out his roar, I jumped to my phone, flew across the room. Sorry about that, pal. I agree, Paul. No way Will or Dan would have got to that. Will or Dan?
Jonathan.
Right, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that shows how far behind we are in comments, lads. Vinny is the best player in the team, says John. Good in the air, great passer, strong on the floor, 100%. Also, back four is awesome and a top keeper. I didn't realise Brewster was injured. O'Hare is definitely not getting dropped. I don't think he will, Jack. After last night's comeback, I'm confident we'll go up automatic, up the Blades, up the round. That is a huge shout, that, John, early doors. To be fair, it's something Man Mountain's been calling for some time. Dave, has it changed your opinion, pal, on where we sit in terms of the league positions? Are we a playoff team or are we an automatic team?
We're in that second to fourth mix, I think.
Let's take those splinters after your.
Yeah, I don't think we've got enough. I don't think we've got enough to run away with it.
That was a champions performance last night. That's how champions win titles.
Yeah,
mate.
but you've got to. You can't get away with so many games not playing well.
We need to maintain this run of form, says Michael, as to create a gap from fourth place, Burnley, with Leeds and Sunderland in a three-way fight for top 2 place until one of those teams begins to fade. That's the plan, Michael. Hatchie says at least Moore will have some rest over the international break. Evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Richard. I can see you in the chat there, Mr. Holly. Putting Oni in too soon could knock his confidence. Yeah, it could. Could you see Burrows higher up the pitch? We've discussed that, Hatchie. So sorry that I'm behind on the comments. I'm about half an hour behind on comments, so I'm going to rush through as much as I can. Bristol City is a great away day on a weekend. Yeah. Yes, on a weekend being the key thing there. Vinny's becoming the player we always wanted Sander Berger to be. Oh, Dan, that is a controversial but probably right comment. 140 me and my lad got in was worth every second. Roll on Sunday, up the Blades, up there. I'm chuffed to bits for you with that, Dino, because making the memories with your lad is what it's all about, isn't it? And he's going to have to suffer the same way we have. So. Game after game, he's bossing it, says Dan, meaning Vinny. Roll's a great manager, no doubt, says Sarah. but there's only so much he can do with that shower. Yeah, that's a nice little backhanded compliment. I like it. I think the Blades will win. 2017, we beat them 4-2. We did, Kel. We did. I remember it well. We can always leave the sprinklers on at the lane a bit longer so Low will trip over again, says Neil. Nice. Sid, says Paul. I don't know what. Mike Dean. Okay, Paul. Let me have a bit of context, pal. I'm getting sticky from the unclean, but I'm not biting, as I know as long as they take their Deludamol, they'll be fine.
Amazing.
Wow. 4-0 Blades on Sunday, says Eamon. Evening, Jimmy. Sorry I can't watch live. I'm at work. What are your opinions on the link with that Sorensen from FC Midgetland? Midgetland? Surely that's not the name of the team. I've seen the name of the team and it's not Midgetland because I'd noticed that. I think he looks decent and could be a solid option to add to the ranks. And need to remember we've got Davies to come back in midfield. I think he could prove to be a vital if he can keep fit and strengthen up the Weetabix legs. So I'm going to answer you very quickly, Cole, and I apologise for the brevity of the answer, if that's actually a word. I think it is. I don't know anything about the lad, to be honest. I've heard the name linked. I've seen him mentioned. I haven't seen him play, so I can't give you an honest opinion on him. I would be reluctant because Dave's talked briefly about Peck might need a loan in January just to sort of get some solid minutes under his belt, and you know, half a season in League One might not do him much harm like it didn't do Ollie Arblaster any harm. I wouldn't want to rely on Tom Davies being our only backup in midfield. So if that's going to be the case and we want more options, then we need a centre midfielder as well, which, again, Davis touched on. You don't drop Saki, in my opinion, says Jack. He shines when he's getting the balls. Saki needs to be on the pitch Sunday. There's a few disagreeing with Ricky's. But I got it. I understood what he meant, though. It's a different way. Somebody's going to have to drop out, aren't they, if we're going to play a different way. So it's just which pieces of the puzzle that you choose to move around. Sarah says, yes, Jack, we've been there, done that. Hopefully we've learned our lesson. Mr. V says, I wouldn't sell Vinny for anything less than 30 million. In my opinion, Cooper's the best signing this season, followed by Burrows, a close second. Then O'Hare, who's my favourite player. He's what Brewster is to Ian. Mr. V, that is an incredible shout because we all know that O'Hare came with a big bit of fanfare behind him. Probably one of the most sought-after free agents in the division, if not the most sought-after free agent in the division. And I don't think he's lived up to the expectation. Now, whether that's unfair to put that expectation on him is a different conversation. I think he's done okay. I think we're judging him to a different level than other players that we've brought in. Sam McCallum, for example, hasn't necessarily pulled up any trees, but I don't think he's being judged in the same bracket as Callum O'Hare, who's expected to be a difference maker. So it depends what criteria you're using. But it's interesting there is your favourite player. I will publicly apologise to Vinny for slating him last season. I think it'd be taking a few apologies on board, David, if that were the case. Also nice to see Vinny look so happy here. He does. It were amazing to me, and I'll come to Brian next because I appreciate I'm nowhere near. Oh, in fact, I am. I'm quite close to getting back on top of comments, which is good. It was amazing to me when me and Dave were lucky enough to go to the Player of the Year awards. It wasn't a privileged thing. It was a ticket affair that anybody could go to. And I always remember seeing Vinny Souza dancing away. Everybody were miserable about being there. None of the players wanted to be there. The manager definitely didn't want to be there. Obviously, it was a horrendous season for us all. I always remember Vinny Souza dancing away to Shakira. And I was like, I didn't say, what are you doing? But I was like, I was something like, nice moves then, Vinny. And he said, like, I'm Brazilian. We love this. And like, he was like, it's going to be okay. That was his general vibe, that we will go again. We're going to be all right. He was positive in a sort of sea of misery at that do, to be fair. And he looked like he loved being a part of it. So really interesting take, I thought, from Vinny Souza. We're going to get a Ramble OG in now. Somebody who's been with us from the very early days. I hope he's had a toilet break. It's Dry Bry. How's it going, pal?
All right, pal. It's nice to be on Radio Ramble.
Yes, absolutely, mate.
All we hear is.
I agree, lads.
You didn't want to finish it. Nobody fancied it. All right. Just leave me hanging, boys. Leave me hanging.
You got this.
I'm glad they did.
Yeah,
yeah, me too.
Just to start, somebody asked me last season, why do you support the Blades? And like, yeah, Yeah, and last
What an
night,
awful question.
summed it up. It's like the biggest roller coaster in the world, isn't it? You know, like it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moments like that make you want to be a Blade, doesn't it? Just like 20 minutes to go, like you said, Paul, earlier on. Like, I'm waiting for meltdown. What's it going to be like tomorrow? Everybody's going to slag Wilder off. Shouldn't have picked him. Shouldn't have picked that. And then in one moment, that goal from One, they went. If you looked at that, if you noticed Suter and all the team, they wanted that back ASAP to halfway line. They could see they were going.
They did. They could sniff it, couldn't they? I'm going to hand over to lads in a minute, Bri, but I've just one question to ask you first. Because I know that you always keep a keen eye on 21s, and I always like to hear your opinion on how people will adjust to the first team in your experience, because I know you've got a little bit of experience behind you in this as well. So we all, I think, recognise that the Cat 2 is a problem because the opposition they're playing against isn't of the necessary quality to bring them on as quickly as we'd like. But we've obviously seen some players integrate into the team very quickly and very successfully. As One is the latest man off this conveyor belt of brilliant prospects, if you like, is he not necessarily is he ready, but is he got all the tools that we need for him to be a success at United, do you think?
Well, can you remember we had that hot topic conversation about players going out on loan, didn't we? In week
we did,
regarding players. Should they be going out on loan or should they be integrating with first team squad? Yeah,
we did.
Some players like One, Marshy, Amson, who are on peripheral, just really close to going into first team. They will learn more training with the first team players, with Nilly and Wilder, and gaining the experience from like Jacko and people like that. When he scored last night, One, that will have done him more good in 20 minutes than it would going out for 6 months on loan with another club. His confidence will be sky high, and he'll be buzzing, and he'll be ready. I think I read somewhere, it might have been today, that Jack Lester has been in Wilder's ear for a while to get One on pitch. Well, he's had his opportunity now, so he's
took it, hasn't he? He's took it.
He's grabbed it, so you can see he's going to be part of game on Sunday. I don't think he'll start. I think he'll come on again. They'll drip feed him in like he's done with Arblaster at the beginning, and Pecky and all them. And if you listen to Wilder's press the other day, he was saying Marsh is jumping at bit to get in. Isn't it?
Yeah, well.
And there's people like that. So there's an argument whether you keep him in first team squad or send him out on loan. And you said earlier on about Peck. It depends on where we are in the league. If on injuries, this new owner, where we are in, form wise. But I just think at minute that we've got it about right. But we can't keep playing like we are doing it under 21s, smashing teams to bits. And like we talked about in week, didn't we? We were saying that, are they going to progress from that? Are the youngers going to progress from that? One is going to get nothing out of that other than confidence of scoring goals. And Amson's same, Marsh is going to be the same. So that's why they should stick around with first team squad. And rest, if like others, there's a couple of others in that full, like at centre back. Is it Sasukas? Can't remember.
Saskauskas,
that's it. I mean, it might do him some good to go out on loan. He's not that far off. He's a young lad. There's a couple of more like Easton and Tinsdale. They all could, they could all go out on loan and get some experience. But the core, those who are pushing really hard, which you've talked about, they should stick around first team squad. And it's proving beyond doubt that One is not far off now. We're getting a run of games, and depending on like injuries to Kiefer and Campbell, I mean, Rian's struggling a little bit. I don't know if he'll be fit for Sunday. I don't know, but he's another option into now.
If you had the choice, Bryce, so all things being right, and we had everybody fit, so we had a fit Brewster, a fit Moore, which of that lot would you be looking at in January to say, go and have 5 months down there at League One or
none of that four. I'd keep that foot. I want. You can't. You're not going to send Kiefer out or Campbell out.
No. I'm talking about the youth players, the guys who are on the edge of it at the moment.
On the edge, Hampson probably, Tinsdale probably. I think we've got this. We just signed this new lad, haven't we? I forget his name. We signed this week. That he was at Man City, weren't he?
That's right. Yeah.
So
Baptiste.
players like that, they could benefit from going out to a League One club or League Two club till end of season. But I read somewhere that some of the 5 or 6 teams come in for, were it Marcia? I'm not sure, and they turned them all down. They turned them all down because they thought he'd do better staying around first team squad, and it might prove right in the end.
He went away last season and got injured, didn't he?
Donny. Wait, Donny.
Yeah, Donny.
Yeah.
So
the
last question, because obviously you're the youngest member of this panel and you know all about the youth team. Yeah. Which one of them's going to be a star? I'll ask you this question, right? Which one of them are we going to flog for the most money? Because
they'll all go. They'll all go at some stage.
Well, this is it. Other than you can't have Blaster because that's too obvious. But
Can't have Blaster, can't have Brooks.
You could probably have Brooks, I'd say. You could probably have
Would
Brooks.
you?
Yeah. Well,
all right. So
Brooks, I'm going to let Bry. I'm going to allow Bry to have Brooks if you want.
All right, they're your rules, mate. We'll go with that.
Yeah, they are, mate. It's my question, believe it or not. We're supposed to ask a question today. I don't know who mentioned that, but I thought it was, I don't know. Go on, Bry. Which one?
End of the day, money talks. So whichever, I'm going to say don't offend slightly, but money talks. So whoever it is, if somebody comes in, we say, well, I think we burnt Newcastle's pants. We caught Newcastle with the pants down for 15 million quid.
100% we did. 100%.
I'll tell you that. And if somebody come in for another 15 million for Brooks, cheerio, you know, it's true. You don't.
Correct.
Look, at end of the day, everybody's got to realise Sheffield United is a business. You know, I know we're fans, but it's a business and it's about balancing books. And if we sell a player for 15 million, we probably could get 2 players in for that. So that's what we've got to think about, looking at it medium to long term. That, I mean, you could take Brooks. Marsh has not done it yet. He's not had an opportunity. But if One kicks off and starts scoring, and he's only 18, if he says he scored 3 or 4 goals between now and January, somebody's going to be knocking that door, aren't they? And saying, you know, we'll offer you 20 million. Are you going to turn it down?
No. We're not.
But again, we've got to think about the attitude of the new owner as well. What they go? I'm going to be quite interested to hear what he's got to say. I think we touched on it the other day about, is he a football person? Does he understand? He might know business, but does he understand the football side of it, like us fans do?
I always think it's about who they surround themselves with, Bri, don't you?
Yeah,
because all these people, they're not football people. They haven't been become million and billionaires by being involved in football.
I don't think for a minute, Paul, he's going to be coming in and saying, I'm going to talk to Tony Curry, I'm going to talk to Ted Emsley, I'm going to talk to other older players who'll be Kevin Gage and all them. He's not going to be saying, I'll have them in and we'll get to know what the culture's really like about the football club. I can't see him doing that. But if Chris Wilder did, because Chris Wilder's a Sheffield lad. He's got the background and he knows where we are as a football club, and he's got the history.
I'm hopeful he'll have a lot of influence on the decision making moving forward, because while we're still being successful and Wilder's doing this, remarkable job with this new team that's just getting better and better, hopefully keep getting better. Surely he's going to have some influence over the appointments and influence over the people that he surrounds the new chairman with, and he gets behind him like that.
I hope so. Can I just touch on one thing which we got sidetracked?
Of course, pal.
That finish from Burrows last night was brilliant. That pass from Arblaster that first touch from Burrows, first touch, turn, smashed it.
While he's having his shirt pulled.
Were outstanding. It was brilliant.
Reminded me of Dane Whitehouse, Bri.
Oh yeah, Dane Whitehouse. Yeah, so I remember Dane. Yeah.
Big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill.
Big left foot strike that.
You know,
Well,
what a great finish that way. He was mental and it was totally mental, and that's why we support the Blades, isn't it? The moments like that, it's like you, Jimmy,
right.
going off on one. We're all same. I was same at home, jumping up and down. We're all doing exactly. If we'd had a camera on everybody's house,
I know, yeah.
Do you know why that is?
Thing.
eh?
You know why it is? He had about 5 goes at it, didn't he? Like, not just when the goal goes in, you then go, yes, and you do it again and again. And the reason you do that is because you're watching and all the team are running towards the fans and all the fans are going absolutely bananas. And I love that. The best part about when we won at Hillsborough, the best part for me was when the camera went up there like that.
Yeah.
And when we stopped the bounce. And all you could see were Blaze going absolutely bananas. And
that's why I'm a Blade, because for moments like that, and it's been moments like that over the years, through all the 50-odd years I've been going to Lane, there's been more good moments, to be fair, than bad ones. You know, the only thing we have never had is consistency. That's all it's been. It's been a yo-yo. It's been exciting. It's never boring.
The goal, Bri? Do you want to be Brighton? Do you want to be Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Is that what we want? Have they had a moment like that this season? Have they been involved in a game that meant that much? Been in a promotion fight or been in a,
No, because even if Crystal Palace have had a last-minute winner, even after being down, it's not going to be the difference between them getting promoted or getting relegated. They're just going to end up 15th like they do every season. It's just dull, and I wouldn't want that. Obviously, that's what we have to aspire to be from a business perspective, but from a fan's perspective, being a yo-yo club like we have been for the past few seasons is an unreal roller coaster. Like people have described it tonight, you would change it, but you wouldn't change it really. So we seem to take a season on and a season off. So we'll have a season in Premier League where none of us will enjoy it, and then we'll have a season in Championship where we'll all really enjoy it, and then that's what the cycle seems to have been like for us. So anything else you want to cover, Brad, before I let you go, pal?
No, I've got a question.
Go, yeah,
go,
got a question.
David. Sorry, my apologies.
And I'm going to take you to Sunday now.
Go on, Dave.
I think Roll's known for being a bit of more of a tactical type manager, bit of analysis on us. Do you think that Wilder will or should do something a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit different to start? Because that's what we did with Brooks.
No.
They weren't expecting that.
I think we should play his best side. We should go for it and go for throw and go for win. You know, end of the day, you know, putting emotions to one side, it's 3 points we want. If we want to get promotion, we've got to win games. I know it's a derby. Yeah. Probably form might go out at window. But if we win 1-0 in last minute off somebody's backside, I don't care. It's 3 points in bag. It's one step nearer to promotion. And I just think we should be strong, should be positive, we should go for it. And somebody said we shouldn't be playing Raksaki. I'd definitely be playing Raksaki. I'd be saying to him, get down that wing, skin him, get that ball in that box, and take your chances when it comes, because
but it's a positive though that we can have those debates about leaving out good players like Raksaki, because it were a valid point Ricky were making. It was to accommodate other players in a different style. So I would play Raksaki personally.
But to answer your question, Dave, no, I won't change anything. I won't be too worried about Wednesday. I think they're on an up and down. They could be on the day. They can be a good side on as they proved last week. They can be very, very poor. Let's not worry about it. Let's just go there and play our game, play to our strengths, attack them, get stuck in, and just see what happens. And I'm sure if we get an early goal, it could be a different game altogether.
Yeah.
Top man, cheers, Brett. We'll see you Sunday, won't we?
TP, I'll be there at 10:30 if you can make it. It's open 10:30 till 1. If anybody's going.
You'll be there at 10:30. You'll be there as it opens. You and Clarky. We'll see you there.
See you,
cheers,
lads.
pal.
Take care.
Cheers, Brian.
Right. I am now behind again. So nervous for Sunday, says Liam. It won't be season defining, but it still feels important. Yeah, it does. Don't think the win means too much to us, but a loss means a huge amount to those in the blue side of the city. Any news on takeover, Jimmy? Close, pal, from what I understand. Close to hearing news. It won't be as imminent as some of the press were reporting. Friday at the earliest, probably next week. Why are you laughing, Mountain?
It's like being in a time machine. I feel like I'm 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's do it for George on Sunday, says Kelly. That's it's mad, isn't it? To think can't start Peck on Sunday. Don't think he's ready. Never mind in Sheffield derby. I won't start Peck either. Just seen Vinny with Bannon in his back pocket, says John. He'll keep him there on Sunday. Don't worry. Anyone heard from Chirac asking for a mate? No, I've not heard from Chirac, pal. I understand Ricky's statement, but on the other hand, it's Max Lowe. Jesron Raksaki will tie his legs in knots. Let's hope so. I understand someone will need to be dropped to make changes, but you don't do it in a derby. It backfired against Leeds, says Jack. I still think this game shouldn't be played. Remembrance Sunday. Wear your poppies with pride. Well said, Chris. Well said, mate. You won't get many arguments from us. Teams using parachute payment argument with us does my head in. We've barely spent any money. That money goes to keeping the lights on. It does, Jamie. That's right, pal. Is the new lad any relation to Clinton Baptiste? Yeah, it's his son, I think, Bri. Up the Ramble, up the Blades. I'm going to have to get with comments. I can't say that on stream. Question, lads. Do you think James McAtee would slot into our first 11?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I think we end up playing him on left, don't we? If he comes into 11, and that's not his natural position. If we're right, but I'd take James McAtee. I'd absolutely take James McAtee.
He'll never play in the Championship ever again.
I would take him, but I don't see who he dislodges right now.
It's got to be BBD on it in January. It's got to be Brereton Diaz.
I don't know. When you asked the question to him, the way he went, no way. Yeah, we have a nice one or whatever he did.
Yeah, but beggars can't be choosers. I said to it for those that don't know what Paul's referring to. When we end the season do, and me and Dave were trying to talk to as many players as we could because we were feeling confident we'd had a few Peronis. Ben Brereton Diaz walked past us, and I shook his hand. I said, "See you next season, then, Ben." And he went and walked out. So that told me he wasn't coming back. No. And he hasn't done. But he's sitting on bench for bottom of league Southampton. Are they bottom of league? They're down near bottom of league Southampton. So
counting his pounds, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he probably is. Vinny's been terrific this season, says Si. Cliche new signing. Perhaps a reminder that we shouldn't be so quick to criticise and scapegoat, such as Big Keith and Callum O'Hare. Well said, Simon, and I'll take that as a right jab back, which is fair. Players are humans, and it takes time to adapt. Well said, pal. Very well said. Burrows scored while the defender was trying to hold his hand. Yeah, he did. I pray there are no early red cards that ruin the game on Sunday, says Paul. Oh, yeah, let's hope not. Jimmy pulling a Marsden, eating on live stream. Absolutely shocking. I can't believe you saw that, Mr. V. Can't believe it didn't happen, I don't think. I think you've missed seeing it. Got to be BBD, says Sarah. Where would BBD fit in for us, Jack? Come on. It's screaming at you. It's screaming. Dave, where does BBD fit in this team?
Right back.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Alfie Gilchrist just think cutting it. Is Bannon the only one to have played in the last derby? Yeah, I think so. Probably. Loving the result last night, but back Millwall and Preston tonight up the Blades, up the Ramble. Can't wait until Vinny ruffles Bannon's hair like you would a young nephew. Ruffles his what? Yeah, we're going to say.
It'll fall out in his hand.
BBD centre forward or left with I see him as like a left forward in this team. Raksaki on the right, BBD on the left, and Kiefer Moore up top. That's the way I see him. Okay, so we're going to go to our next guest. We are short on time. We're probably going to go over, but he's been waiting a long time. It's one of our fairly regular callers now, and I like to introduce him that way. It's Liam. How's it going, pal?
Evening, boys. All right.
Good evening, mate. Sorry to keep you so long, but we like to give everybody their say.
Busy. Busy,
mate. That's how we like it. How's things with you, mate? All right. How you feeling?
All good after last night. I thought it were average performance to start off with, but I thought as soon as Coops get penalty away, which can forgive him for because he's been absolutely unreal since coming to the team, he's settled back for. I just thought it just ignited him. I just thought it galvanised players. I just thought more going off as well. I thought that game will lift a bit when one come on for some reason. It looked good. It looked fearful. They were pressing, and I don't know if you noticed, but credit for Callum O'Hare for the last two games for me, because when he pressed Blackburn, he made that second goal from when he won the ball back, and last night he got that player sent off, and one was right up there with Cal pressing that player.
Correct.
What obviously led into one of theirs getting sent off, and Probably
Stuff like that
game,
gets
really.
overlooked. And I think I did mention it on stream, but I haven't mentioned it since because I'd forgotten about it in all honesty. But Callum O'Hare was an integral part in that result last night because without the red card, I'm not sure that it goes that way. They kept going back into themselves, didn't they, all the time? They were fearful. They went down to 10 men, and I think that pushed us over edge. So he played a huge part in it, Callum O'Hare. Fair point, Liam.
The goalkeeper didn't the goalkeeper make some? It sort of like threw him off, didn't it? When they scored the goal and went 1-0 up, I think it was the worst thing that happened to him because the goalkeeper made that big error, didn't he, for the corner? He gave us that corner effectively.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he sort of lost.
He
lost his
punched
ball
it
a little bit
back behind him, didn't it?
It looked like it was going to go in it for a second. It was like, where's that going? No, and everyone just looked around at each other like, how's that happened? But no, I thought it could have been the worst thing that happened. It woke us up. I thought the game was really drifting. It was going towards 0-0, or we were hoping for some moment of magic from somebody, and that's the way the game were going. But as soon as we scored, it just woke us up a little bit, just a bit more urgency, bit of bravery on the ball, and all sorts of stuff. Did you think that, or do you just think it was?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think it galvanises them getting penalty and woke us up, and we started to play. And then when one scored, I knew we were going to find a winner. And obviously, with him getting sent off, like 95th minute, that he's pressing that Cal as well after playing 95th minute as well, to have that energy as well, to press that high at that time of game. I just thought. And then when he got sent off, I just thought, I knew we were going to nick it. I just knew. I just thought we had that bit of quality.
Did you feel it?
Blaster's pass is unreal. It's just
mate.
pass, and Burrows take that, and when he's like we said, dragging him, holding his hand, dragging him, whatever how you want to pronounce it. But yeah, it was just unreal finish, and what left foot he's got, and he's definitely a close one behind Coops to signing, definitely. But Coops is still number one for me. But Burrows he gets better every week, so
yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's been good.
You're not wrong. I think of some of that last night, and it's easy to say in retrospect about team spirit, but I just got the feeling that when I think the guys on the pitch looked at Cooper's, what I think was a bit of a mistake when he came flying out and obviously gave away the penalty. I think because they all think like they're all in it, all kind of in it together. They just wanted to dig him out of jail, didn't they? They wanted it not to be about that penalty. They wanted it to be something different, and that's like. Because you just saw the body language completely change in the whole team as soon as they scored. They were like, right, we've got to pull this back round now. We've got to do something about it. And I don't know whether that's I think even Wilder alluded to it, didn't he? He even said in his post-match, you're eating there, Jim. He even said in his post-match about how it took them ages to get going. The game was just drifting along. They were going through the motions. And then, I think it was all about getting Cooper out of jail a little bit. Do you disagree, or?
No, I 100% agree, Paul. It's really good to see team spirit this season as well, because how they must have felt last season, like you say, on floor and conceding 104 goals, just to see how in short space of time how Wilder's got them all believing again, them all. Well, you see faces after Burrows scored, it were fans together, all us at home screaming, all us with Jimmy last night, weren't we? So it were phenomenal. I think it's a huge 3 points. That, 'cause I think. Even drawing 1-1 or losing and them winning last night and us going into Derby on especially a loss, then I think that'd give them more momentum, to be honest, Wednesday. But I think us coming back and never say die attitude, and especially getting them 3 points in the end, were absolutely unreal. I just wanted to say as well, if we are going to play one up front at weekend and it's going to be Campbell. Do we really need to be crossing it to Campbell end? Because some people say cross ball, and he's not going to win in air anyway. I don't think crossing ball, because that's not his game, really, is it? So I know, like we've said, Raksaki comes in and cuts in, but Brooks were quiet last night. I don't think he really did nothing. So
I don't necessarily think it's all about aerial ability crossing either, because crossing the ball is like Billy Sharp scored a lot of goals from cross balls. Not the biggest player in the world, but it's about being on that last man and filling the box. And I know what you mean. I think our play gets a little bit slowed down sometimes because we're not willing to whip the ball in. And Burrows did it, didn't he? A couple of times when he's in those advanced positions, those early balls and just threading them around the corner. He did it in the other game as well. And I think that's part of the argument for people saying he could go on the left-hand side, because if he plays that early first-time delivery, I thought Ty Campbell offered us a little bit more threat, and you could see their defenders just dropping back a little bit more when he was on the pitch, because he has got that pace threat to get him wrong-footed and go past him a little bit, where Kiefer hasn't necessarily. So I don't necessarily think you need Kiefer Moore on the field to want to whip a ball in. I would like to see more of the midfielders committing to going into the box. As I said it before about O'Hare, Hamer, they all want to hang on the edge and shape one in the corner. Similar story with Raksaki, where I think Campbell proved in the other game when he scored the goal, he's willing to get in the box, isn't he? He's willing to get in there and pick up the rebound and go for it again. So I think for me, Campbell's the obvious choice, and I'd love to see Oni get his chance off the bench. Would you even think that Wilder might go for Oni on
100%. This is just my opinion. I don't think he'll start with one, just for inexperience wise. And
you got to call him Oni, mate. No one knows what you're on about.
No, I was just going to compliment Liam for just sod the pronunciation. I'm going with one.
The one.
Just one.
Right, one then. Yeah, sorry. I just don't think. I know.
Oh, go it, mate. Go it.
Last night I'd have done him world of good, but he can't start that game Sunday for me. And I just think if Rian's fit, like someone mentioned earlier in comments on Town Hall, it's his game. It's his game. He knows if he bags in that game, he's going to be a legend forever. So
I love.
I just don't think he's fit.
I always talk about the Ramble community and how brilliant it is, and I genuinely mean it. But the best thing about it is the loyalty, and Rian Brewster is feeling the benefit of this loyal community. There's so many Brewster fans in our chat; it's unreal. Yeah, I know you're a fan, aren't you, Liam? But there's Ian, there's loads of like Beast Boy who comes into this chat as well. Huge Rian Brewster fans. I have to say, I'm slipping away in my belief in Rian Brewster. I'd love to see it. I'd love to think that he can come good, not just because he's a nice kid, but because of the injuries he's been through as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we'll ever see that £23 million striker that we all thought we were getting. Would
you give Tom Davis and Rian Brewster a contract next year when they expire? That's the next question.
I'd give Rian Brewster one. Liam?
But would you give him a contract?
I'd give him a contract, yeah.
I just want to touch on when Paul said a few weeks ago about Rian's decision-making. I agree with him, his decision-making, but can we say he's been played in his natural position? Up there, up top, in a natural two with Kiefer or in a natural two with Tyrese. No. He's always been behind, or he's always been at number 10, or he's been at left wing, I think, at Middlesbrough. And it was like, it's just like he's never had his chance. And I've just got that hope it's similar to McBurney. If he gets that one, I think he'll get a couple more. I think he's just great.
Did you think he could play as a 9? Do you honestly think that he could go up there in the system we play? Not many teams nowadays play with 2 up top, Liam. Do you honestly think he could play that solo role on his side?
Not on his own, no. But up there with Kiefer or Tyrese, yeah. If he's playing off more, definitely, or if he's got Tyrese with him as well, working with him, I think so. Okay. But 100%, Paul, I agree with you. Not on his own, mate. No chance.
So if Brewster's fit at weekend, do you play him? Do you play him with Campbell up top?
But then you're dropping O'Hare or Hamer, aren't you? So it's like
you are. I'm not.
No. I'd have it obviously because he just he's had a knock, so I don't think he'll risk him. If he's fit, I think he'll be back on bench. You've got to play Gus and O'Hare though Sunday.
Well, again, good decisions to be able to. It's good problems to have in it that you've got options that you can consider these things. And Wilder has done it all season. And as much as some will question game to game, why is he not playing Kiefer Moore? Why is he not playing so and so? Why is it? We're second in league. The proof is in the results that he's getting out of this squad. So.
Last thing, I just want to hear Liam's team. I just want to hear your team, pal, for Sunday. Last thing I want to hear from you.
So it'd be Coops.
Harsh.
It'd be Coops. Gilchrist, Suter, Nell, Burrows, Vinny Blaster, Raksaki, Hamer, Tyrese.
That's my boy. Have you watched that Patreon video already?
That's the nail on the head. That's the team. That is the team.
I think that's the team.
Because I think Moore's going to be out, lads, don't we? So
yeah,
a bit looking at how we're wobbling round just as slow. I think
you can't see him starting if he makes it either. Anyway,
no. Well, if you're all patrons, you'll be able to see my team. That's up now in the on the Patreon page. So there you go. You can have a look at that. But Liam, thank you for joining us, pal. Very much
Thank you,
appreciated.
lads. Take care,
No
lads.
worries.
See you soon. Thank you.
You too. See you soon, bud. Nice one, Liam. Top lad. I love, again, he's another one that's started joining us regularly, and I love it that people are comfortable and confident to come on. And everybody is welcome to join us on these sort of chats as and where you can and things like that. So, lads, how have you found it? First sort of co-presenting gig?
Did you feel like that, Dave? Did you feel like you were presenting anything there?
No, I was having a chat with my mates.
Good. That's
It
how
felt
it's
like it felt like normal, mate. To be honest, just the
That's
same.
what it's like, isn't
it? Yeah.
That's how it is, and that's all it is. It's a chat in it. It's talking about the Blades and getting other mates on to talk with them about it as well. So I love it. I love it. Let's just see what the comments are saying as we wrap up. So it is. David saw me eating on stream. He thinks there's no evidence.
You can't
of it.
style it out like this. That
I know you can see me jaw moving up. But, right. Full disclosure, I were on radio. I'm between Radio Sheffield, and then I had a little window. My tea weren't ready in time, so I just did a bit of Just Dance with kids, and then I came on stream here. So I hadn't had a chance to have my tea. Wife brings me tea in while we're on stream. What am I supposed to do with it? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Mate, there's no business like show business, is there? I was on the radio earlier, then I did a bit of Just Dance with the kids.
Twice in one day.
Listen, Peter Mountain, whatever your name is.
All right, lovely.
Forgot who you were. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wouldn't swap Sander. I didn't read Paul's comment then. Burrows is the best crosser of the ball I've seen at the lane since Colin Morris. I'll take your word for that, Paul. Wouldn't swap Sander for Vin or Egan for Suter. We now have a top side and we're going up. Pippin leads at the top. Oh, interesting. And plays nicely into the update that Jamie gives us. Leeds are losing 1-0. Yeah, bit of a Vinny celebration there from the Man Mountain. I can't do that because I'm sure my camera will be crazy.
That's illy, that.
Yeah. Is that what I said?
No, he said Vinny.
Oh, I meant Illy. Yeah, apologies. We love our Riri, says Sarah. Yeah, I'm losing it. Still nobody comes close to Alan Woodward when it comes to crossing the ball. He was the master at Cossers and had a rocket of a shot. Yeah, I'll take your word for that, Mr. V. Again, it's not somebody I saw regular. Millwall beating Leeds. No one likes either of them. We don't care. You Blades. I'll tell you what. I'm a Millwall fan tonight. I'll be cheering for them boys. Got to be giving Brewster a contract, a very reduced contract, but we'll need to be making use of him. I would give him a contract. Dave, you're desperate to say something here, aren't you? Go on.
No, I think Rian, if we do, should turn it down. And not from doing us a favour or anything. I think he probably needs to go away and reset and restart and see if he can find it somewhere else. I really want him to do well, but
that would show.
I'm not seeing enough to make me think that it's going to change for him, and I just think for himself to give him his career. Shot. Yeah, I think he should maybe just look and go. It's not worked. I just maybe should try a different environment and see if something just makes it.
We'd be sick as dogs. We'd be sick as dogs if he went away and we would get the straps and.
I know that. I'm talking about from his perspective.
Okay.
For his career.
Maybe. He might be right. He wouldn't be the first one to hang around where, he wasn't wanted or couldn't achieve anything.
Will thinks it's written in the stars that Brewster scores his goal against the Pigs on Sunday. I don't think he'll be available, but I hope I'm wrong because we've had correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've had any official confirmation on an injury to Brewster. He was just not in the squad against Bristol City, weren't he? So it weren't a case of he's been announced as being out or anything. We're at a knock. Yeah. Okay. Millwall winning. Come on, lads. Love your vlogs. Keep up the great vlogs. Thank you, Kelly. Brilliant result last night, says Dale. Showed some real steel, no pun intended. On to Sunday now. Massive game. Up the Blades. Up the Ramble. Top man. Fairfield says Leeds losing. Lol. And as long as they link up well and look after the ball, we'll be fine. That has brought us to the end of the comments, lads. Thank you. We've gone slightly over slightly over, but not by much. I think we've done pretty well tonight. So I just want to say thank you both. I think you've been unreal in terms of holding the fort and carrying your share of the load. So thank you for helping me out tonight. It may not be a one-off. It may be something. Don't eat your tea on stream, Mountain. It's not.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't. Man.
You can go off, people. Anyone gone on the Leeds watch along and gone, oops? Chris, where do you think I'm heading after this, pal? That's exactly where I'm going. Tell Connor I'm on my way. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards.
Up the Blades!